Hi everyone, my name is Talia Baldini. This is my community in words and pictures for SW541 Social and Economic Justice Part 2. So I wanted to focus my presentation on the community in which I reside, Ellesmere, Delaware, which is fairly small. It's right next to Wilmington, which is a huge city in Delaware, and um, there's many parts to it. Most people consider themselves, if they live in Delaware, they kind of just their mailing address just says Wilmington. It's kind of just like a blanket city for a lot of people. Ellesmere is a part of Newcastle County, one of the 3 counties in the state of Delaware. So just some demographics in Ellesmere. The total population as of 2014 is 6,152 residents. Now that's always subject to change. There are like 3 houses in my little townhouse community that are for sale, so people come and go. It is considered an urban community. There are a little less, there are fewer males in the city of Ellesmere than females. 47.3% of the population is male, and then 52.7% is female, which I thought was rather interesting. The median age of the residents in Ellesmere is 36 years old. So it is, it is in different parts. You can tell, where the younger crowd is, newlyweds or young couples, and then there are some parts of Ellesmere closer to like kind of the city building that have residents that have been there since 40, 50 years. So it's kind of nice. There are a lot of loyal residents in the town of Ellesmere. Overall diversity in the town of Ellesmere was rated at an A, and that was based off of a study done that I found on the internet from Niche, or Niche. So that's something that I found interesting. I do have a little pie graph over in the right hand corner, and it just talks about the again, when talking about diversity. So Ellesmere is 59.7% Caucasian, and then as you can see, 23.8% of the residents are Hispanic, 12.3% are African American, 1.7% are Asian, and there are 0.6% other, and 1.9% 2 or more races. So I think that's quite diverse, and I think it makes for a more culturally rich community. So that's something that I enjoy about Ellesmere. So some institutions in the town of Ellesmere, both formal and informal. Something that I think is super important, and that is really kind of like a landmark when I'm trying to give directions in Ellesmere, is the Wilmington VA Medical Center. So it has been in its location off of Kirkwood Highway in Ellesmere since 1946. It serves veterans from all over, providing them with the services they need at little to no cost to them. As you can see, the top picture in black and white is is the VA when it first opened. And then the bottom one, they have done some really nice renovations. It's really becoming, I think, one of the nicer buildings in Ellesmere, because it is an old town. So they have really renovated it. It serves so many people. I work at a methadone clinic, and the VA provides, through the VA insurance, if they've been given a referral to the methadone clinic, it is free of charge. They don't have to pay anything. They don't even have to pay an admission fee. So I think they're doing really great work, and it's I think it's a really nice asset to the community. We have a really nice library in Ellesmere. It is on the smaller side, and there's actually talk to defund the library, which is on Spruce Street, which is fairly close to my residence. So they're trying to save about $500,000 a year by defunding this library, which is not going over well with the residents. They were supposed to have a meeting last week, but nobody's heard, about the results of that meeting. So it's kind of up in the air at the moment. Ellesmere Police and Fire Departments, as well as the town hall, are accessible to the town residents. They have so many fundraisers and drives that really kind of try to bring the community together. Something Ellesmere is known for, many eclectic and delicious restaurants for its residents to enjoy. And then an informal institution, one of my favorites is the famous Serpy's Bakery that's been in Ellesmere since, oh gosh, I feel like forever. So that is something that, as soon as you say Serpy's Bakery, everybody knows what you're talking about. Ellesmere, it does a really nice job for major holidays, for putting on parades and Easter egg hunts. Santa, drives down into every single neighborhood, down every single street on a fire truck during the Christmas season. Just to kind of put a smile on the kids' faces. So I think Ellesmere is very community oriented, and they do a really nice job of trying to bring everybody together. So this is a map of the town of Ellesmere. This was done by the University of Delaware, and I think it does a really nice job of giving you an aerial view, of course, of the town, and then all the blue lines are the rivers and streams, and then Wilmington is kind of in the surrounding areas. The Good Community Assessment, goods and services. I've mentioned this a little earlier in the presentation. Ellesmere provides an abundance of services to its residents, as well as many opportunities for employment and its many storefronts. There are tons of places for employment, a lot of warehouses and things like that employ a lot of residents. Safety, Ellesmere was rated as a B- based on previous crime records. When I read the Good Community Assessment paper, according to Ohio State University, safety is always relative. No place is absolutely safe, which I think is important to keep in mind. A lot of people say, oh, well, it's not safe, or, this area is not safe, or that area. But there's crime wherever you go. So I think that the good definitely outweighs outweighs the bad. And another thing that Ohio University rates as a good community is the relationships that bind citizens together. So I talked earlier about all of the things that Ellesmere does for its residents, which I think is super important. So I enjoy living in the city of Ellesmere. I think it's a great place to live. And that concludes my presentation. I hope you all enjoy. Thanks.